So for my last couple of videos, I did more like vlog type of videos, and I was out with my iPhone capturing videos and share with you afterwards my photos from the Leica Q3 or from the Ricoh GR3X. And some of you asked me in the comments to share with you my thinking process behind of those photos, and in general, what am I thinking when I'm going out with my camera doing street photography. So I thought it would be nice to just sit here today and talk to you about some tips or guiding things that going through my mind when I'm taking out my camera. So if you have any questions or thoughts, I would love to hear them in the comments through the video. Feel free to write me anything. So let's just get started. So first of all, I see a lot of photographers do that, and I think it's important to mention it because I know that in the beginning of my photography journey, no one mentioned that to me, and it regards to light and shadow in a composition. And what's important to understand is that in a certain intuition way, shadow capture more of our frame than light. And when you see a frame that is divided by half, and half of the frame is shadow or black, and the other half is lighted, so our eye intuitively give more attention to the black space. And when I'm out doing a composition, I make sure that I give a little more space for the light in the photo if I want it to be pleasant to the eye. And it's not something that is accurate on every frame, but you know, in my day job, I'm a photographer for a news channel, and there are frames with the anchor when you see half of the frame behind the anchor filled with the light, with the screen behind her or him, and the other half is more dark black. You see like the desk behind them. So I make sure that the frame is slightly shift towards the light, so that when a viewer see the photo, it will look like the anchor is in the center of the frame. I hope I didn't lose you there. But when I'm taking the camera out for street photography, I really frame my composition so that the light and the shadow will be really pleasant to the eye, and not just think, okay, this will be half shadow, half lighted. It's not something so strict. It's something that I have to give my intuition part a little more dynamic space in the photo. And this is the first thing that I think a lot of photographers miss, and a lot of photographers do it without conscious. So make sure the next time you see a photo with a lot of shadows or with a lot of light, that you notice this difference between the division of those two parts, and just pay attention and be aware of what kind of photographer gives those different aspects of the photo a different attention. Maybe some of them like give 90% of the photo to the shadows or 90% to the light. You know, the play with those two contrast things really change the photo in general, really give you a certain vibe to the feeling of the photo, and this is something that I really have in mind a lot when I'm doing street photography. The second thing that maybe ruined 99% of my photos is that when I'm taking a photo of a subject, I need to make sure that he's really isolated from his surrounding. And I think that the most common mistake that I do personally is that I take the camera out, I see a subject, and I take the photo with the composition behind him, and I think, okay, it's clear that this is the subject of the photo. But when I take a look afterwards in the computer, or I show someone else the photo, then sometimes it's not so clear what is the subject. Maybe it's not so pleasant to the eye, the separation between the subject and his surrounding. So when I'm going out and taking like portraits, or even not a close-up portrait, just some subject that I want to be pop up in the photo, I have to make sure that behind this subject there will be nothing distractive or nothing in the same color or in a dark color, dark shapes, you know, that interrupt the viewer to realize that this is the subject and this is what he's supposed to focus on when he looks at my photos. I think this is what makes the photos that's really good what they are. And I think that some of the photos that I took that I want to be really good really fall in that place of making the subject pop and realize immediately when you look at the photo what is the main thing that I want the viewer to look at. The third thing is something that I think it takes time to realize as a photographer, but maybe it's important to have in mind all the way of your journey, is that you have to be really conscious about which gear is right for you and which gear you're just using because you think it's the best right now, or you heard someone else that you like their photo is doing this. And you know, I was shooting back in the day with the Canon gear. I had the R5 body with lots of different lenses for different type of photography, and now I have the Leica Q3, the 28mm version, and the Ricoh GR3X, it's the 40mm, and I really enjoyed those two couple of fixed prime lenses comparing to the Canon gear that I use. And the main reason is that for me personally, I draw more to street photography and macro photography, but in a simple way that I'm just going around the city and capture small flowers or objects, and I really don't want to carry with me all of that gear. What happened is that I had this really expensive gear that I tried to take with me everywhere, but it wasn't possible. It was really heavy, and I have to dedicate it a certain amount of days and a certain, like I have like 4 or 5 times each month where I took out my camera and my gear, and every time I had to choose what I want to shoot today. If I wanted to capture photos of birds, then I have to take the 200 to 600mm Sigma lens. And I remember thinking maybe I'll see something nice to do in macro photography, so I took the 100mm macro lens with that Sigma lens. So just those two heavy lenses, it turned out to a really heavy bag that I had to take with me. And my shooting days really came out to like 3 to 4 hours of shootings maximum, and I had to take my car most of the times. It wasn't fit to the city or where I live. And you know, those were what I saw from the big photographers out there that shoot this gear. So I thought this was the best, and I wanted that, and I'm really happy that I tried the heavy gear, the different lenses. Maybe someday in the future I will decide to go back to something like that. But I listened to myself at the time, and I thought that I want to capture photos every day. I want to go out and shoot with a small compact gear without thinking too much which lens I need to take today. So eventually I sold all of my gear and bought this amazing Leica Q3 camera with a fixed 28mm 1.7 aperture, and it has a macro also mode inside. It's a really simple camera, very expensive, very unique. If you know this camera, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't have to be a Leica, it doesn't have to be a Canon, Sony. It's really individual thing. I think the gear that you have is really more of an inspiration to do something that you're more attractive to in the photography field. But I think that really the most important thing is not to do something because you see someone else do it. And it maybe sound like a given and something that, of course, I would say that. And hey, I have the Leica Q3, so it's easy for me to say that the gear is not like the big deal. But it's really the most important thing is to enjoy the gear you have and not push yourself to do and use things that aren't like what you want to do really. And it's not that I didn't enjoy taking photos of birds and stuff like that. It just, for me, I wanted to shoot more. I wanted to capture more and get better. And maybe if you're shooting for over like 20-30 years, so you know exactly which lens and body you're using more, so you don't have to overthink which one you're going to take today. And I'm sorry that I go into different places, but it just came to my mind that the fact that I don't need to choose which lens I want to use today is the same as like Steve Jobs, I think, didn't switch his shirt the entire career, so he didn't have to make choices about what he wanted to wear today. I just know that those two cameras is what I have. Usually right now I take actually more the Ricoh because it's a smaller compact camera that fits into my Jinx buckets, and as I said many times before, it's really a winner. When I go outside, I really take it with me everywhere. At work, at walk with the dogs, I take this with me. I don't feel it's heavy. I feel like I always have a good camera on me. And the Leica Q3 also I take many places. I don't feel like it's heavy or too big or something that draws too much attention to me, like with the Canon. And the fact that I don't need to think which one I have to pick today rather than those two is something that really free my mind and give me the space to just explore photography. Just go with the camera and not think too much about the gear itself, like if I'm using the right gear right now, just focusing manually on the aperture, ISO and shutter speed mostly. And I know that I shoot mostly RAW. I shoot a RAW plus JPEG, but I will use like 90% of the time the RAW files, and I will edit them later using my Lightroom presets, which give me to my next point. And I really not try to sell you anything. I have Lightroom presets, but you can use whatever one you like. I think the presets for Lightroom in general is something that's really important in my way of creation. And the reason for that is that I like photography, I like taking photos, but I think edit is something that completely transforms the photo. And I don't like the process of editing each and every photo long time and give it a certain vibe every time and give it the colors that I think is something that I like more. I know that in my Lightroom presets there are a collection of 10 different recipes which I put on the photo, and I know one of them will be right for me. I will adjust, of course, everything according to the specific photos, like the exposure, the highlights, stuff like that. But I'm sure that when I will get home, I will put the photos in Lightroom and make them in the certain feeling that I like for my photos. And I think that it's something that a lot of people just miss doing, and they just upload the photos as is to the social media, or the printing them or sending them to friends or family, which is nothing wrong about that. But you know, a slightly, if you dedicate a little bit of time going to Lightroom, straight the photos, which is the first thing that I do when I go to Lightroom, I straight the photo in and make it the lines look good and straight. And then I will upload my preset for the vibe that I want, if I want it black and white or color or whatever. And then I adjust the final tuning. It really takes me maybe 5 minutes maximum for every photo that I take. Of course, if I take portrait for people, for money, or if I wanted a certain photo to be developed and put on the wall, then I will dedicate more time to a specific things if I want to disappear from a photo or not. And I will maybe go through Photoshop or the more serious editing process. But most of the photos, 99% of the photos that I take each day, go through Lightroom, go with the same process. And I'm so used to do it. I do it on my phone, on my iPhone. It's not even going to my computer until I get no room in the phone, no storage. So I have to put it on the storage behind. Let me show you how my storage look. It's stuck to my computer behind, and I change it every now and then. I stock maybe 3 or 4 1 terabyte of photos and videos, to be fair, but you know, thousands of photos there. And you know what, I want to do a separate video on how I save my files, how I categorize them, so I can come back to each and every one of the photos that I took very instantly, and I know exactly where everything is. But you know, for now I think I talked a lot, and I hope you get some good tips out of this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment. I would love to read those, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.